Welcome to Cut the Crop, keeping you in the know about everything you grow. Researchers, growers and other interesting folk delivering insights and information on topics ranging from agronomy to profitability. Brought to you by the Foundation for Arable Research.
Hello and welcome. My name's Alison Stewart and I'm your host for this session of Cut the Crop. And today my guest is a farmer from Westerfield, Darryl Oldham. Welcome, Darryl.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. And so you're a mid-Canterbury grower and you're part of a Growers Leading Change group that has been looking at alternative N options for cereals. So maybe before we talk about the Grower Leading Change group that you're part of, just give us a little bit of a background on your farming operation.
Yeah, sure. We're about 200 hectares, about 195 effective, just about 20 k's on the west side of Ashburton against the South Ashburton River. We grow usually cereals, grass seeds, maize for silage. We're trying a bit of white clover this year and peas and at least a paddock out for potatoes each year. So yeah, try and keep it pretty simple. But we had been sort of meddling a bit with soil using liquid, not N, instead of granular N. So yeah, so it sort of led me into this group.
Yeah. So talking about the group, like how many are in the group and how did you come up with the fact that you wanted to explore alternative options for N-Fert?
There was about 9 of us in the group spread out around mid-Canterbury, so through Mayfield, Methven, here and over sort of Springston way. It was sort of, I think Farr put the idea out sort of mid-22-ish when the nitrogen prices were going up and the thought that there might be a charge for greenhouse gas emissions. And yeah, they sort of put the question out, was anyone interested in trying different N sources? So I thought it was a good idea would be good to get on and get a bit more data. I was doing a wee bit myself, but thought having a bit more formal would get some better results. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you do in the first year? I mean, what products did you test and why did you choose those ones?
In the first year, we sort of looked at reducing our N use by 30%, either granular or soil applied N. And we used a Waikato product called NZ Bioamino. Hang on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There was I think there was a few guys in the group already using that product, so they were happy to try it out, and yeah, the rest of us, sort of followed suit really with that. But I'd also been using some other products, and I thought it'd be good to get an idea of what a few of these products are actually working, or what they say they're doing. Yeah.
So you said you were going to try them out, and I think that's the right terminology because what Growers Leading Change has been doing is supporting the growers to have these on-farm tryouts, which are not formal research trials. They're more, sort of look-see, sort of observational things. And the replication is the number of different tryouts that we have across the various farms. So what were the treatments that you chose to look at? I mean, obviously there's the NZ Bioamino, but how did you decide, what you're going to, compare it against?
We decided on reducing, because we didn't want to go too hard out first up, reducing our N use by 30%, and then add the Bioamino in with that. Our trial was the full paddock most of the paddock was our normal N application, and then for one spray run, we had a no N spot plus the 30% less N over that rest of that spray run. So that at harvest time we could measure what was coming off each area.
Yeah, and what was the crop?
Wheat. Sorry, feed wheat. Yeah, and it was feed wheat for all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what came out of that? Like, what results did you get?
Over the whole group, there was no statistical difference between yield between the 30% less N and the normal N application. But it did obviously because you're using less N, it did reduce our in-use efficiency, increase the in-use efficiency. We used less nitrogen, plus the greenhouse gas emissions were reduced.
Yeah.
So that was positive. So for less N, we were getting the same yield and having hopefully some environmental outcomes with it as well.
What about cost, though? If you had 30% less N-fert plus the bioamino product, was that more expensive, or was it a similar cost to a full N program?
It roughly worked out to be similar because of the added cost of the bioamino plus. Well, also for myself, the number of passes I have to do to get the liquid in on. But yeah, it doesn't work out too much cheaper than granular at times. Yeah.
But it's giving you options. So if, for example, the price of urea went through the roof again, or there were a levy on emissions, you know how you can sort of mix and match now with, potentially alternative N sources.
Yeah, I think that has been sort of a key finding. It's not the end or, the way you'd go for all the way, but it does give you options or tools and toolbox to do things a little bit differently if you had to.
So is the group planning to do this coming year?
The coming year, well, we sort of not long got our results, and we're sort of thinking about at the moment have another meeting shortly. But I think we're going to relook at what we've done this last harvest just been, which was more a foliar N application as well as the soil applied in. And just see if we can get similar results. Because for some of that, we did cut the N by 50% over the paddock where we put foliar N on.
Okay, so you're going to explore the whole granular soil foliar option as well to see whether, in fact, you can mix and match that as well as the different products.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Because this year we did. Some guys did granular versus soil applied in. At same rates, which came out very similar results. So you're not disadvantaged in any way from using soil applied in versus granular. And then some of us did using foliar in, which is just using your normal flat fan nozzle on your sprayer, actually foliaring it onto the leaf, rather than the soil applied in, which is using where it's more being absorbed through the soil. And so I think we're going to look at that. Well, I'm keen to anyway, look at that more this year to see if we can actually replicate the results we got this year, just to make sure it's not a seasonal thing or a fluke.
Yeah. And are you going to look at other products, or are you just going to stick with the one that you tried last year?
I'm not 100% sure on that one. Like I say, we've got to have another meeting to sort of discuss what we're going to do going forward. But I dare say we'll still stick with some Waikato, and whether we try something else as well.
Aren't you planning to look at some legumes as cover crops to see if you can bring some nitrogen into the system?
Yes. Yeah, there was another couple of paddocks guys grew beans, faba beans or tick beans. One paddock, they grew it as a forage. It was grazed, but wasn't followed through to a cereal crop. But that showed it increased in by about 80 kilos to the hectare when they sampled it. And then another guy did a short rotation beans where he put beans in after the harvest and then worked those in and put barley in behind it. And he also did a combination crop where he had beans and wheat growing together. It looks like when you do the short rotation beans, it does add some nitrogen to that crop. But if you've got them incorporated with or in conjunction with the wheat, there's no real benefit. And you end up, if you take it through the harvest, you end up with beans and wheat in the same sample. So I mean, obviously the group's been up and running for a year and a bit.
What do you think the advantages of being part of a Growers Leading Change group have been?
Well, I think just meeting the other farmers has been great, which you probably wouldn't normally get, and it was quite a good support team as well. You can ring other guys up in the group and discuss things with them if you've got a problem. So that's been really good. I guess also like I say, I was doing a few tryouts myself, and with not really data coming out of it. So it's been good to do it more formally like this, plus over a wide range, and just give you a bit more confidence in what you're doing or trying these new things.
Yeah, and actually I think that's a really good point, is, building growers' confidence to just try things and share ideas with other growers and combine observations so that it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's been a good, whole grower leading change groups have really been a really asset in that respect, for sure. Yep.
I mean, the key thing with the Growers Leading Change initiative is that you have groups of growers who try things out, they find out new information or new results, and then they share them with the wider industry. Have you started to do that? Have you started to be talking about the work that your group has done?
Yes, yep. I ended up going down to Gore, talked at one of the mini conferences, and then a couple of other guys from the group's been out at those conferences as well. And I think we've got to make up a in-mixing format for growers to read through, so if they want to mix their own solid urea into liquid. And then some of this data, because say we haven't long had this data, some of that's got to get sorted out properly and published as well. So
how often does the group meet?
We try it about 4 times a year, but then, like I say, we're on WhatsApp all the time.
Yeah.
Messaging people back and forth and, keeping in touch. So, yep. It's, I'd maybe like to meet a bit more often, but, trying to get everyone in the same room at the same time is quite tricky.
Absolutely. Did you do any other activities, other than just focusing on the alternate end? Did you go and do any visits anywhere?
We've done on our own farm visits for the members, but no, we haven't done any outside that yet. But that's something I think would be good to do.
Just getting out away from your farm onto somebody else's farm, you always learn something. There's always something that somebody else does that you sort of think, oh gosh, that might be worthwhile trying out. So, it's just that knowledge sharing between the growers, I think, that is the big benefit from Growers Leading Change.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure. And like I say, you might want to try these things, but it's your bottom line that's taking the hit. So if someone else can try it out and you can see it's even better. So
well, yeah, that's right. And if you find something that doesn't work, then you can let other people know so that they don't end up wasting their time or money. So it's very much, growers helping growers out. So obviously you haven't met yet to analyse this year's data, and you're just thinking about, what you're planning to do next year. So you've got another year to go with this group, or is this the last year?
No, I think we'll have another year.
Yeah.
Just for the 25 harvest, have something there. Yep, sure. And that's well, we'll just, like I say, we're trying to work out exactly what we'll do, but I think we'll try and replicate what we did for the 24 harvest a bit more to make sure it's, like I say, firm up the data a bit more and not, take some of the variables out of, because there's so many variables when you're trying to do these things as well.
Yeah. I like the terminology. You're talking about data and you're talking about variability and everything. You'll be able to come and work for FAR soon.
I don't think I've got enough patience to do it so fine-tuned.
Never mind. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Darryl. And good luck with the rest of the tryouts that you're going to do this year.
No, thanks very much. I'm enjoying it. So, it's great for running them. So, thank you.
Good. And thank you, listeners. Have a great day on the farm.
Thanks for tuning in to Cut the Crop, presented to you by FAR. If you'd like to know more about any of the topics discussed or have any suggestions for future topics, go to www.cutthecrop.co.nz.